Do we all remember when I made this green jumper? This is the best thing I have ever made. There's no kind of feeling like the feeling when you wear a big cozy jumper. And then the feeling that you get when you've made that jumper, nothing can beat it. Nothing can beat it. I made it out of that golden green cedar jewel spun and that lovely bonus Aran that in that bottle green. I did that on the top with a little zip, and then I've got that little citrine charm that I put onto the zipper. It is my favorite jumper of all time. It's so cozy, and just before it really got super hot and too hot to wear it, I lived in that jumper, like lived in it. And I can't wait to take it camping with me. I can't wait till we get the little cold snap. And now I've actually went and bought these Lucy and Yak pants that are in a green that it's just going to look amazing in. If you've never tuned into my channel, my name is Stephanie Mitchard. On this channel, we crochet, we craft, we do all sorts of kind of things. So if that's your vibe, make sure you give us a like and make sure you give us a subscribe. We are trying to hit 5,000 subscribers on the channel this year. And when we do that, we are going to have a giveaway hamper. So make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. Now, my husband Red, when he was seeing me in my cozy jumper, I think he was getting a little bit jealous because he loves to be cozy as well and he loves a big jumper. And he was looking and he was like, could you make me one? Could you make me one of those? I was like, of course I will. Now, that's how much I love my husband, because you know, as crafters, it's, you know, is the love enough? Do they deserve this craft? Do they deserve my time? And Red 100% deserves my time and my energy when it comes to creating. He really appreciates everything I do, and this is my way of showing him how much I appreciate him. So we talked about him and we kind of come up with some ideas, and what he wants is he wants a 3/4 inch jumper just like mine. He wants it oversized, so he wants it big and baggy because he tends to like to layer, especially if we're like going camping. He'll probably wear a jumper underneath this jumper. Like he's a big layery kind of guy, he loves layers. And we were talking about colours as well, and the first thing he thought Jean-Luc Picard. The Star Trek uniform. We've been watching a lot of Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds is a recent Star Trek TV show, but it very much goes back to that old formula of kind of like Monster of the Week. It's a one-shot story, so you don't have to like be fully watching every single episode. Sorry, Tilly has just entered the room, so you can hear the tick, 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 tick. That is our Tilly. She's just lying down on the rug. Hi, Tilly. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are. You're such a good girl. So, yeah, Strange New Worlds. We've been watching loads and loads and loads of Strange New Worlds. If you like Star Trek and if you like the original series, it's kind of got that kind of feel, but with like a modern twist to it. It's really, really interesting. I really love the guy that plays Spock as well. And this week, the week that this is coming out, the 3rd series should have aired. So, really excited about that. I can't wait. Even Jackson can sit and watch this with us. That's what I really was quite upset about with like Discovery and stuff like that, because they were swearing and there was some scenes that were just a little bit too mature. Now, to me, Star Trek, this should be a family show, should be family friendly. And I love the fact that I can sit there, and that was my childhood, sitting and watching Star Trek with my mum and dad on like a Sunday night, and we'd have a Chinese, and like that, to me, that's like my childhood. And I love the fact that now me and Red, we have this new Star Trek that we can share this with Jackson, and he loves watching it. So, back to the jumper. We've decided what we're going to do is we're going to do the red and the black, and that is how we're going to make this jumper, and it's going to be really, really fun. So, what I'm using for this is I'm using the Paint Box wools. Paint Box, I've never used this before. I'm using their Aran as well, just to kind of give it a go and just try a new wool. So we'll see how I get on with that and see what I think. But yeah, so how I'm going to be doing this. So the way I did my last one was I did the body in a round, and I was doing this in double crochets. So when I got to the top part, so if you imagine you have a big rectangle, big tube, and then as soon as you get to here, you have to split. So imagine 2 rectangles coming off the tube. To do that, I had to turn the wool back and forward. I mean, I could have snipped at every end, because you know what happens when you're working it around, it looks different to turning it back and forward. When you turn it back and forward, you get a bit of a ridge. So my jumper is like, it looks different in terms of texture at the bottom, and then when it gets to the top, when I'm turning the wool, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. So that's the one kind of flaw with my jumper. So reds, I'm going to do it slightly different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 panels and then stitch them together. So imagine a big rectangle here. Then what I'm going to do is probably like 2 rows of the colour change, the black. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 panels here. Now, also another thing that I did with mine, which I'm going to do differently with this one, is I left 2 spaces for the zipper. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do 1 space because I want that yarn to be close to the zipper and I want it to almost be concealed a little bit. So we're going to do an uneven number. I think I'm going to do 109 because he wants it oversized. So we will see. We will see. Also, I want to do a little charm as well for the zipper. So I need to try to find a Star Trek charm to make so I can attach it to the zipper. So we will see what I can find. So let's get started. Let's get cracking.
It is super early in the morning. It's actually like 5 in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I just thought, sod it, I'll get up. And I've started making Red's jumper. So I've got 110 stitches and I'm doing this in double crochets. So I'm making this the same width as I did my jumper, but instead this time I'm going to do it in panels. Because remember what I did with my last jumper is I worked in the round for the body and then realised when I got to the top part, I had to turn the work, which meant that the stitches look different. So this time I'm going to be doing it in panels. So once this part is finished, I'll show you and then we'll move on to the next part. So I have just finished the first panel. It's gone 34 rows. This wool, this paint box wool, it's a little heavier than the wool that I was using for mine, which was the Aran, the DK Aran, the Hayfield bonus Aran. Don't know why I said DK Aran. Bonus Aran. I think this is slightly chunkier. So mine went 35 rows. I just held this up on Red though, and it looks good. It's sitting where it needs to sit. I'm also going to add a cuff. Mine doesn't have a cuff, but I'm going to add a cuff to his, doing basically double crochets, working in like sort of like the back loop front post kind of double crochets. I'm going to do it like that, like I did Jackson's jumper when I did a shark jumper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to the black and I'm just going to crochet. I'm going to crochet a little panel and then I'm going to crochet all the way up, leaving that gap in the middle for the zipper. But I'll catch up once that is all done. So originally I was going to buy the bonus Aran, the Hayfield bonus Aran. And by mistake, I ended up buying the paint box wool. This is a little bit thicker than the Aran, the bonus Aran that I was using. And it's also the red is not the colour that I was originally going to get. I was going to get I think it's Scarlet, I think the colour's called. It's like a really deep wine kind of colour. And this is the second time where I've done this, where I've gone to try buy wool and then I've ended up buying something like completely like the wrong thing. I think sometimes I'm just so tired and I'm like, I need to buy all this stuff. And then I go and end up buying like the wrong thing. Red likes it though. So that's all that matters. But it's just not giving the effect that I thought it was going to give. So who knows? I'm going to see what this is like. I'm going to continue making this jumper because he's saying that he's happy with it. And do you know what? We'll just see what happens. And do you know what? If I want to make another one, I can just make another one. I really, really like making these 3/4 zip jumpers. And I'm already thinking I'm going to make Jackson a little matching one with red. Like, how cute will that be? So I've done 4 rows for that small panel. And basically that's as high as it's going to go. And that's where I'm going to do the gap. So this is where I'm going to start kind of going and making those 2 separate panels either side, leaving 1 single crochet in the middle. That's that little gap for the zipper. One mistake that I made with my 3/4 zip jumper is I did 2 stitches and it was a little bit too wide. Now, another thing that I noticed that I didn't really like with my jumper is the neck is a little bit too wide, and I'm not going to make the same mistake with Red's jumper. So what I've done is I actually held it up on him just to see how far I'd actually want that neckline, and I've actually just left a gap of stitches. Then what I started doing was I just reduced, and so it gives that like slight sort of curve to the garment. So I've kind of left a straight line of stitches. Then once I was happy, I think I ended up leaving, I think it was like 6 stitches or 7 stitches. And then what I did was I reduced so you get that curvature going over. So you can see there's a slight curve in the corner there. And then I just continued working up. And we'll just have to see how that goes. At the end of the day, I can just undo it. It's not that many rows, but we will see once I stitch it all on. Another thing that I really wanted to make sure I got right was that kind of ridge in the stitching. So there I've left that 1 little centimetre, sorry, 1 centimetre, what am I talking about? 1 stitch in between for that zipper. And I wanted to make sure that I was, when you can look at that double crochet, when you turn your work, there is like a slight kind of texture. You can see a slight kind of like ridge within the work. And I needed to make sure that that ridge was going to be the same. Okay, so I went a bit crazy and I just thought I got really like in the groove with kind of moving on with this jumper. What I've done is I've just completed both halves, both panels. What I did was I left a little one stitch in the middle, because on mine I left 2 and it was a bit too much. What I've done is I've stitched them both at the top. I've also ran out of the red wool, so I've had to order more red wool, so that'll be coming later this week. So basically I've done everything up to the point that I can do. I'm about to make the collar. So what I've done is I've stitched these together, stitched that all going round, and then I've stitched going all around the collar itself. So it's got single crochet 74 all together. So now I'm about to do a big rectangle, 74 stitches. I'm probably going to do 4 rows. That's what I'm thinking. And then I'll attach it. Once that's attached, I'll then add the zipper onto the jumper. So it's all coming together. Okay, so I have just finished the collar. Sorry, I got a needle in my mouth. 74 stitches, 4 rows. And I'm about to stitch it on around the collar, and then I will check in with you once that is all stitched on. Something else arrived today, which I'm really excited to show you. So I bought this bracelet because of all of the Star Trek charms. I think it was £7. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get different lobster claws, and I'm going to take these charms off the bracelet and give them to Red in a little box. And then that way he can pick and choose what little charm he wants on the zipper. Like with mine, I had that citrine. I am just absolutely obsessed with the Enterprise. I just think the Enterprise is so cute. Red really likes the bat'leth, you know, the Klingon sort of weapon, which is just there. I didn't realise that the inner sort of part of the Starfleet symbol symbolised different departments. Red was telling me this before, which was really, really interesting. You've got a little Klingon symbol there. You've got a phaser. Obviously a little Vulcan salute. So cool. So cool. Absolutely made up. And he was like really impressed that I'd found this as well. So I can't wait to put little lobster claws. So he's got these little charms. Okay, so this is where I've got up to. I kind of like just cracked on and then I forgot to film. So I've made the 2 panels and I've stitched them together. I ran out of wool halfway through and then I had to wait for the order to come. So I've stitched all the way up there and then I tried it on Red, and we needed the armpits to be a bit smaller. So I ended up stitching it in the black. And what I've done is I've done singles going all the way down. That way when you add the colour, when you have that colour change, it looks neat. On the Sonic jumper, when I was doing that, I didn't do single crochets going around the armpit, which I should have done, because when I've attached the different colour sleeves to the sort of yellow garment, it looked absolutely crazy and it looked really, really messy. But now that looks really, really neat. So now I'm just going to do the sleeves and we'll see where we get up to. I also went to John Lewis today because I didn't have a zipper that was 12 inches. So I went and bought a 12-inch black zipper. I'm just going to stitch along with wool going along each side of the zipper. Then I'm going to single crochet through those and then add it on. So that will kind of go like fine. It's really oversized, and Red actually really, really likes the fact that it is so oversized, because what he's thinking is in the winter when he wants to put like, we're very much a household where it's like, if you're cold, just put a jumper on. That's like our motto. So he's like really, really happy for this. And also when we go camping, this is going to be so good. So good. So I will check back in with you once I've done the sleeves and show you where I'm up to with getting on with the zip. So I have just finished sewing the zip in for the jumper. I am absolutely made up with this. This is so much better than my jumper. Just leaving that one stitch rather than two and getting the wool really close, it just looks so seamless. Look how fantastic. Also with mine, I used a black zip because I didn't have a green zip. And I wish that I'd gone and I bought a green zip because it just looks so good just in there. I've also finished one of the sleeves. So I've just tried this on Red and it is like, it's really like oversized. He's like made up with it. So what I've done to kind of, because I didn't want him to have like a bunchy sleeve, I've just basically reduced in the armpits one stitch by going through, you know, kind of bringing, when you're doing a decrease, but you go through the stitch and you bring two stitches together. That's how I've been doing it. And yeah, it's gone 26 rows on the sleeve in total. So now all I need to do is do that other sleeve and then I'm going to do the cuffs. And I'm absolutely made up with how this is turning out. Okay, so Red, you're trying this on for the first time with the zipper in. How does it feel?
Feels good.
Feels nice?
Feels good, man.
So we're down to the elbow with this side here. But let's look at the other side. Show the arm off. Oh, fabulous, fabulous. So you wanted this kind of oversized and you wanted it a bit like sort of chunky. Are you happy with the fit? Do you feel like it's cozy?
Yes.
Yeah? You're loving it? Do you feel like Jean-Luc Picard?
Always.
You look like Riker.
I feel like I'm getting the Jean-Luc Picard hairstyle soon.
I think you look like Riker. Jean-Luc Picard hair, but a Riker beard. I'm loving these posy moves. This is great.
She's got male models too.
I love you.
Okay.
So I've just finished the sleeves. So I'm absolutely made up with how they've gone. They've gone 26 rows in total. They are just kind of just above the wrist. So I do need to add a little bit of a cuff to both of these. I think I'm just going to go 3 rows for the cuff. And I think that will give it just a little bit of length. So Red is kind of like, doesn't look like he's growing out of his jumper. I'm a bit unsure on this wool. I don't think I'll probably use this wool again. It is really, really, really thick. So here I am. I'm kind of getting to the point now where I'm doing the bottom edge and that bottom cuff. And I really like doing this kind of like front post, back post, double crochets, given that edging. I started doing this when I was doing Jackson's jumper, but for some reason I just couldn't stitch on the end cuff when I was just doing a normal cable stitch. And I thought this is just a fun alternative. And I've actually really, really, really enjoyed this process. So I think I'm going to go 3 rows again. So 3 rows on the bottom, 3 rows on the wrists. And I think that will be enough. I think it'll be enough because it is quite long, just to give a bit of edging. So this is the jumper. What do you think? Do you like it?
I like it.
How's it fitting?
It's nice. It's good.
Yeah?
Correct.
Because you wanted it oversized, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. I just need to do the ends. I've got a few little ends here that I need to weave in. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. You happy with it?
I'm happy with it.
So here is the finished jumper. Isn't it amazing? I still have ends to weave in like here on the inside of the cuffs, but I'm absolutely made up with how this has turned out. It's really oversized. It's really, really cozy. The paint box wool, I found it a little chunky, I'll be honest with you. I did find it a little chunky. I probably wouldn't use this Aran again. I'd probably go to the bonus Aran again, the Sidar bonus Aran, rather than paint box. But you know what? We have to trial these things. We have to try these things, see if they work for us. I might have tried this and it might have been the best thing that I've ever done in my entire life. It wasn't, but Red's really happy with it. So I'm happy with it. All I need to do now is I need to make the little charm to add on to here.
the little clip, and then we are all completely done. So you've seen the bracelet that we found. I found that on eBay, and it's got tons and tons and tons of different ones. So Red has chosen the Enterprise for now. That is what I'm going to, because I'm going to repurpose that lobster claw to attach it to here. But what I want to do is I'm going to order some lobster claws, and then I'm going to add those lobster claws to all of those charms. So then that way he has got a choice however he feels. He might want to go Klingon with it. He might just want to go like a little science officer, little Star Trek sign. We don't know. He might just want a phaser on there. So he's got his options now where he can change the little sort of charm to go onto the zipper. So that's really, really cute. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you've enjoyed the changes. And I really, really hope that you give Strange New Worlds a try, because it's such a good TV show. And yeah, Captain Pike is a bit of a dish. So go and check that one out. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I really, really appreciate every single person that tunes in. I love our little community. I love that we have our little lives every single week, twice a week. We have our little chats, we talk. We have our Facebook group where we can all go and post our things. If you would like to join any of that, I'll put all the links down below so you can find that. And thank you so much for making it to the end again. You genuinely don't know how much it means to me. So remember, if you like crochet, if you like crafting, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.